Hello from Portland. Yesterday I posted a video about not arguing with joy and got quite a few responses in various forms. Chris did a video response which I thought made some very good points, and Emmy left a comment that got me thinking about the whole subject in a whole different way, because she was talking about her experience with her daughter and how her daughter's really into Minecraft, and she doesn't try to tell her, oh, you shouldn't be into that, you should be into these other things, which made me think about this whole issue from the perspective of a parent. Now, first of all, we're very much a Minecraft household, so I totally identify with that. My son loves Minecraft, is playing it right now, plays it as much as we'll let him, and it's pretty much all Carter wants to talk about. In fact, last week I was trying to think of a topic for a vlog, and I asked Carter what I should do a vlog on. He said, you should do it on Minecraft. And I said, I don't really know enough about Minecraft to talk about it, and he said, okay, then you should probably just stop doing videos. So in Carter's mind, if you can't talk about Minecraft, you might as well not talk at all. And I like him to play it. It's creative, and it's not especially violent. There's some monsters you fight, but it's a much more cooperative, imaginative game as opposed to some of the others. He used to be obsessed with Angry Birds, which I never much liked because it's basically just suicide bombers. But what Emmy points out is that she doesn't really get Minecraft, and it's not important for us to get Minecraft. We should let our kids explore their own interests, which I completely agree with, but it did make me stop and think for a bit, because it's a bit different with your kids. Because I cannot say I'm totally indifferent to the books and movies and games that Carter enjoys, because he's my son, and obviously I don't want him to do things that are too scary for him or too violent or whatever. So as a parent, I do have to have some parameters and guidelines. But what I've noticed is, for a lot of parents, it can go way beyond just sort of screening things for appropriateness. And there's two kinds of biases that come into play. One is similar to what I was talking about yesterday, which is sort of an affinity bias. We want our kids to like what we like, or what we liked at their age. So you see some parents who impose their nostalgic interest on their kids, whether or not the kids are really responsive. I will admit that there have been times I've tried to share something with Carter that he just didn't take to, and it was disappointing, and I had to kind of deal with that. But as I was saying yesterday, you can love someone, you can be close to someone, and still not share every interest. So as a parent, especially as your kids get older, you have to just get over your disappointment and not try to make them into vehicles for your nostalgia. Another dynamic that comes into play with parents is a very specific kind of snobbery, to be honest. And that is, we want our kids to enjoy things that will be impressive to our friends and to the parents of other kids. So, for example, I like television, Carter likes television, we have a lot of television shows we watch together. There are some he likes just on his own that I don't like. Our favorite show collectively is Adventure Time, which is a great, great show. But honestly, some of the cartoons he likes are dumb. They're just dumb. They're not directed at me. I'm not interested in them, but I don't mind that he does them. I don't feel the need for him to watch Masterpiece Theater so I can brag about it to my friends. But you do see a lot of parents who get very controlling about TV shows and books and trying to steer their kids into the right interest. And it's very tempting as a parent. And as I was saying before, some of that's your job. I mean, it's your job to try to introduce your kids to worthwhile culture. But as they get older, you really have to let them make their own choices about what they find interesting. And in fact, it's important for kids sometimes to like things that their parents don't understand, to have things that are just theirs, that aren't shared or passed down or mandated or suggested by adults. And this is all much more complicated when you're dealing with kids, because kids grow. And we talk about parenting as if it's this one activity, but parenting a baby and parenting a 9-year-old are completely different activities. It's like grouping ballroom dancing and basketball together because you're standing up. They're just totally different things. And lots of things are appropriate as your kids are younger, and they become less and less appropriate as they get older. And it's a continuum. So you can't just say, okay, you're 7, now you stay up all night and watch whatever TV you want. I mean, it's a continuum. Gradually, as they get older, you give them more and more autonomy. You pull back a little bit and let them make more and more decisions, and that's sometimes a difficult balance. And when it comes to books and movies and TV, it's kind of like food. When they're babies, you just feed them what you think they should eat. And even as babies, they do start to develop preferences and objections that they're very clear about, and you start to try to cultivate the food they like. You try to steer them toward healthier food, but ultimately kids are going to eat what they like, and they're not going to eat things just because you want them to. And when it comes to books and movies and TV shows and games, you have to follow kind of a similar approach. When they're tiny babies, you're pretty much programming all of their cultural activities. And the older they get, the more preferences they're going to develop, and the more preferences they should develop, because they're growing into the adults that they're going to be, and they're going to have to make their own decisions about what to read and watch and think. So thank you, Emmy, for that comment. It really made me think through all of this from a different perspective, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.